Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX, and it's time for the daily video update. Just a reminder, this is brought to you by Day Traders FX. You can visit our website at daytradersfx.com, and you can get a free 5-day trial to our live trading group. So have a look, stop by, and we'd love to have you on for a couple of days to see what we do. Okay, guys, let's get on to the details here. First of all, big crazy day in the market. It was supposed to be kind of a flat one, and it was really quiet during the first part of the U.S. session. The U.K. was totally flat. Everything was flat yesterday and last night, and then this morning really slow. And then we started to see some big movements. We saw that oil has been all over the place. Oil was actually down to 100 flat, and I think it even dipped below the 100 mark. The S&P is down a bunch, and it was down more. The Dow was down about 150 points today and ends up closing just a little less negative, but overall a big bad day in the market there. But we did see some very interesting movements in the opposite direction. Typically, this would all be indicative of a dollar rally, and we kind of saw the exact opposite. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. Quick little look here. We do have Bernanke speaking today on the stability of the financial situation. It's kind of not his typical. It's not an FOMC meeting minutes or anything like that, but this could get the market moving. So just keep an eye on that. That's at 4:15 p.m. Pacific time. So keep a little eye out on that. And then we have some Bank of Japan activity coming. Remember, guys, that there is a possibility that the Bank of Japan will be there's some chatter out there that there's some intervention coming, and that they might be looking to ease and try to keep the momentum on the yen pairs going. So keep an eye on that. We're going to talk about some places to put some orders potentially on some of the yen pairs. So just be ready for that. Coming into tomorrow and the UK session tonight and so on. Not a lot. It's a pretty flat kind of calendar there. But we've got a lot of stuff this week. There's still plenty of news this week, and a lot of markets will be coming back online after the bank holidays, so it should be pretty active this week. And then the dollar index is still just bouncing around in here. We got some bouncing around. We're just right around that, just below that 80 mark, and things are not really going super far on that front. Okay, so here's what we have. We saw some movement on the dollar. On the euro dollar earlier today, like I said, we just had kind of those two candles that started spiking. It was really the one candle that had any significant movement there. Here's what I'm looking at. I think if the euro gets back above this 131.50, we could see a little bit of a rally, a little bit of a run. Now remember, this 131.50 is a very tested level, so this is like a give or take 10 or 15 pips on either side. So really, what I'm probably looking for is like a 131.65 to 70 even. But I may take a trade at the break of 131.50 and lock in profit and trade it very carefully up into that 65.70 area to see if it can continue. I'm willing to get stopped out at break even or 1 pip on this buy, but look to lock in very quickly to see if this is going to continue up. If it does not continue up, then here's the levels I'm going to look for on the downside. I think 130.90. It's definitely coming off this area here, but I think if it gets below 130.90, we should have a nice run and a continuation back down into this 130. 50 and definitely into 130 even. So we're going to watch this little channel right here. You can see it 131.50, 130.90. Watch these two guys here. There's going to be a lot of chop in the middle, but again, getting below this 130.90 should be a nice signal of a continuation back down. So be looking for that. These are the only two levels, in my opinion, that are important enough to keep an eye on. And I'm looking for the trend to continue to the downside, so we're going to watch that, and we'll take a trade if we get a break either way. Here's the pound dollar. This is what I'm looking for on this guy. If we get above, you can see this level's been tested several times. This is around 159.15 area. If we get above this, I think we might see a little bit of a run, maybe even a test of 160 once again, or 159.75, kind of just short of that 160. We'll see. But if we get a break above this, I'm looking for at least 30 pips. I'm looking to take this thing, at least into 159.50 area. So that's what we'll be looking for on that one. However, if it's not able to break above that, which could very likely be the case, then we're going to look more for this 158.80. I think if the pair gets back below 158.80, that'll confirm nicely this 15-minute crossover, and we should be able to see a continuation down from here. There should be a good 30 pips into this one, an easy 30 pips. So take this down into 158.50, and then possibly even further. But 158.50 break and down into, or excuse me, 158.80 break with a target of 158.50 and possibly beyond. So just watch those levels: 159.15, 158.80. Euro yen's been moving around quite a bit. This thing, I'm getting a little nervous with this euro yen and some of these yen pairs because there is a lot of chatter out there why and how the Bank of Japan might be jumping back into the market. And if they do, that's going to drive these pairs up. So what we saw in this euro yen right here was a nice trend line, and it actually broke and consolidated just above for a little bit, and it's right back down. So here is one thing that we can do in anticipation of a possible intervention is put a buy stop right around 107.35. So 107.35, let's have a buy stop on this guy. And if the pair spikes and if we get some intervention activity this afternoon, which could very likely be the case, then we get put into that trade. No problem. We're looking for, if an intervention happens, there's 150 pips on the minimum side that could happen there. Typically, these movements go about 200 to 300 pips. So you could, you could play it safe, put 100 pip take profit on that, and probably very easily hit that. So that'll be one thing to keep an eye on. But if it doesn't continue on there, which it looks like it's having a hard time already, it's coming down pretty strong, then 106.65, back below this 106.65 is what I'm going to be looking for. But remember that we do have the rate statement and we have a bunch of things happening, so just because of that and because there is chatter of intervention, I'm probably going to stay out of this sell until after all the Bank of Japan news comes out. But I do like this 106.65. I'm just nervous that this could be the day, especially since they have their rate announcements and so on, that they might do some fiddling about. So on this one, I would just stick with a buy stop order right around 107.30-35, like I said, with 100 pip take profit. And then we can look at getting back into this after the announcement comes out. Aussie dollar, I'm not loving the Aussie dollar the last couple of days. We haven't really done a lot with it because it's just been so choppy. Not super interested here, but we're starting to get some good levels panning out here. So above 103.30, I think there's an easy run to 103.56. 60. So we're looking at 20-30 pips pretty easily. Depending on the strength of the rally, we could see this run all the way up to that 103.80, which was a big strong level. So there's possibly 50 pips in there and even more. So again, above 103.30, we're looking to get this as high as 103.80, but into generally the 103.50-60 area. However, if we don't get a break there and this starts to head back down, then look for some sell opportunities at the break of 103.00. So below 103.00, we should see some nice moves and some nice runs down. So we're going to keep our eye on that. Look for a sell opportunity there. And then last but not least, gold is slowly trickling up, interestingly enough. So I'm just looking at this one. You can see that it's kind of sitting and consolidating around that 1648-ish area. So above this, I think I think we've got another run, another test at about 1675. However, it looks like it's not going to be making that, so we could be looking for some further downside if it breaks this trend line. So just keep an eye on this, and we'll see where it goes. But once again, we'll have some more details posted in the chat, some more notes, some more entry details, but keep an eye on these levels. We should see some very good moves on either side of these as the day goes on, especially as we get into the UK session tonight. Best of luck, guys. I'll see you in the chat.